you want torque to be thrown to the outside wheels or tires because it wants to carve the turn, not skid the turn. It's why this thing can take turns at speeds that you could never imagine in a normal vehicle.
It's not my birthday, but I'll take the present. Our good friend Matt was one of the first people in the world to own a Model S, one of the first to own a Model 3, and as of the past few days, one of the first to own both a Rivian R1T and R1S. And today, you're having delivered the Rivian R1S. So if you've ever wanted to be a fly on the wall during a delivery, today is the day. How long have you had the R1T?
It's been about a month now, but it's been a joy. I like the kind of the unique elements of it and the storage, certainly the acceleration.
What about the R1S is appealing to you?
Well, I just thought if there's any chance for my wife to drive an electric car, it's going to have to be something of an SUV because, you know, she doesn't want a pickup truck or anything.
Before we get started, I have to tell you about my favorite accessory that I keep in both of my Teslas, and I'll be gifting everyone on my holiday list this year. So over the years, I've tried so many different car vacuums, but Fantic by far makes the best cordless vacuum. So I was so excited when they reached out to me to sponsor today's video. Their new cordless vacuums, the V8 and V9 Mate, are some of the best. The design of the V8 was actually inspired by Tesla. It's an insanely sleek, light, and super powerful vacuum. It weighs just 1.2 pounds, is under 3 inches thick, making it slimmer than a water bottle, and 65% more compact than leading handheld vacuums. It also features a powerful M1 brushless motor that can reach up to 60,000 RPM, so it can get out the deepest dirt, crumbs, and pet hair. You can choose between 3 different colors, it charges fast via USB-C, and the built-in HEPA filter is washable and reusable. You can find them both on Amazon, so I'll link the V8 and the V9 down below, and you can save up to 23% off with my discount code. So let's get back to the video. I have gone back and forth so many times on should I have ordered the S or should I have gone with my X? And it is nice. It's so good looking, and I feel like it's so functional and it would work for our family. I don't know. I'm just like confused.
Yeah, and you see the massive size difference between the rear doors because this particular vehicle being 7-passenger, you have to allow access to the third row.
Yeah.
You just push the button, this slides forward, allowing access to the third row, which has its own little cubby compartments and its own chargers. Plus, since it is 7-passenger, we had to put 21 speakers in this vehicle, not 19. Just to accommodate for the whole sound effect of the Meridian elevation sound system to the very rear.
Wow. Okay.
And what's cool too is that even though the vehicle may appear to be larger than that one, it isn't. That's 217 inches long, this is 201, and that wheelbase is 135 inches, this is 121. So it gives it a tighter turning radius, and then plus your approach and your departure angles and your breakover is actually a bit superior to the truck. So as an off-road vehicle, it's actually really cool.
The R1S is hands down one of the best off-road production vehicles, if not the best at its price point. Both the R1T and R1S feature an all-electric 4-motor drivetrain where each wheel is powered by its own motor, giving the onboard computer extremely precise control over each wheel.
So real time, every 5 milliseconds, it's reading the phenomenon that's happening underneath the wheel and the tire. And it's adjusting the vehicle to make sure that that patch of rubber stays as flat as it can. The flatter it is, and the better it is to actually maximize what that patch of rubber is doing. What people tend to associate traction control with is off-road sort of supremacy. Well, that's true, because it is independent to each wheel. Each wheel gets the torque when and where it needs it. But when you're on pavement and you're going into a turn, ideally you want torque to be thrown to the outside wheels or tires because it wants to carve the turn, not skid the turn. And it's just amazing how different that is. And so when you have that kinetic hydraulic roll control, which also keeps the vehicle flat in combination to the torque going to the outside, it's why this thing can take turns at speeds that you could never imagine in a normal vehicle, because it's not yawing like an ICE
Especially
would.
if you're gassing
staying
through it.
flat. Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
accelerating
right.
through it.
Well, that's exactly right. Actually, it was
Yeah.
the Toyota Land Cruiser that made this kind of famous. What we'll do is we'll power down the second row,
Okay.
and then we'll manually just flip down the third,
Okay.
and this will give you an idea of the entirety of the size of this back area.
That's pretty big.
Wow.
And I think what's a bit surprising too is even behind the third row, it's pretty sizable. This is pretty ample. And what you have here too, you take that off, you have your compressor kit, your compressor hose, and your attachments
Okay,
here.
so it
Your
still
first
has the
aid kit
compressor
here.
in the car.
It does. Your
Right.
compressor is here.
Makes sense because it's leveling.
And then you have your 12 volt and your 120 volt outlet here on the left. And underneath here, if you were to have had a spare tire, there would be the donuts or the puck spare.
Yeah.
Which would be
Oh, wow.
And that's
So-
additional storage, which is
okay.
pretty ample, as you can see.
Interesting.
Yep.
I was about to say, I thought this was the end of it.
And this
But it's
also
not.
can go here if you want this surface to be more flat.
Okay.
And that would be in case someone wanted to put sort of like an air mattress or sleeping bags. That would make that flat. Otherwise, you put this here.
You don't
it
even
just
need
fits
the
right.
tent with this. You just sleep right there.
Yeah, you're right.
And it does have that new camping mode. So if the vehicle is not level, it will level itself automatically because it has pneumatic suspension. And because the pneumatic silos of air are independent like the motors are to each wheel, it can do whatever it needs to do to get flat.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is cool.
That's really cool.
That's very.
I love
Starting to
it.
Jones it
I am.
compared to,
I'm like,
compared to your Model X.
Maybe
you got that
we-
beautiful Model X, but
we might need a swap. This is where like the important part to me is the second and third row. This is like good, lots of leg room, very comfortable seats. Where are the USB-C? Right here. It looks a lot like the T in the second row. And then I want to get back there to the third row here.
Basically give us the
So,
ability to
what is it like actually going back to this third row? Okay. Definitely more room than the third row on a Model Y.
that's not too hard.
Probably actually pretty similar to the third row on the Model X though. With ours it's 6 seats, so we don't have anything here, which is kind of nice because I can always put my feet in there. But again, that's just like preference with configuration. But there might actually be more room. I definitely need to get back here with the tape measure and kind of measure that out because it's
Yes, it does.
pretty good.
And just like your T,
The third row of seats were surprisingly nice, and even though some automakers skimp on features or quality in the third row, Rivian seats were comfortable, spacious, and offered dedicated USB power ports, the ability to drop down the middle seat in the second row for more room, and you'll also find AC vents that automatically activate when a person is detected in the back. And both third row seats do offer child seat latches.
and you know how those all work too. It's the same thing. You put it next to the handle, and I'll show you with the card. And that'll lock, and ultimately unlock. And to get the vehicle to go, you would then get into the driver's seat, and you would put this card here, and now it's ready to go.
Yeah.
And it says that you should present it to this panel within 30 seconds. I've done it beyond 30 seconds, but the instructions are to open it, get in, press the brake, you're now good to go.
Yeah. Okay.
And as you know too, when we pair your phone will also be a key, and we'll do that next, and we'll just do that digitally.
Oh, kneel mode. Okay.
Yeah, the vehicle basically lowers itself when you're in all-purpose or conserve. As soon as you put it into park, it'll lower itself to 10 inches of ground clearance just to make things easier to get in and out.
Yeah.
And then when you get back in the vehicle and you put it into your desired drive mode, let's say it's all-purpose, at above 5 miles per hour, it will move the vehicle back to the standard height, not the low height.
Okay.
Now it activates this.
Oh.
Yep.
So I
And
can't.
that has to be closed in order for that to power down.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And this window doesn't open, right?
No.
Separately, yeah.
I have to say I'm kind of reconsidering my whole existence right now. Like, what am I doing? The Model X is amazing. I love it. But I also love the R1S now. So, I don't know, Matt. I think we might need to do a little car swap. See what we think. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below if you are an X fan or an S fan, or if you just like both, like me. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for our next video where we swap our Model X with the R1S for a little compare and contrast. Until then, drop a like and be sure you're subscribed, and we'll catch you next time.